We are back here on the ETBU Coaches Show. Mark T. Robinson here with a familiar face, our very own head tennis coach, Jeff Bramlett. Coach, this week, it seems like, this is kind of the time of the year where everybody's kind of going into the big tournaments, the ASC championships, all at the same time. We got baseball, softball. Can't forget about you guys traveling to Richardson, Texas. But it seems like you just haven't been on the court in quite a while. The last time you guys took the court was against Belhaven in a 9-0 victory. So kind of talk about, how you guys have been preparing to kind of get ready for this week.
Oh, that's a good question. We tried to put together a scrimmage. I've been worried about it. It's been 2 weeks off. We tried to put together a scrimmage with Laterno last Friday, as a matter of fact. But the girls wanted to stay and watch their men's team. I understand that. So that fell apart. So we just been doing some inter squad work against each other, and we have such a strong women's team. Honestly, playing against one another, some of the best practice we can get. So we've been drilling pretty hard, trying to get some good conditioning in, and getting some set play in, both singles and doubles, one-on-one against each other, and just trying to push teammates as hard as we can. And that's been how we've been trying to do it for the last 2 weeks.
Absolutely. And how beneficial is that for you guys? I mean, you get the 2 weeks off, but kind of on the flip side, you don't see a ton of outside competition, but you're able to kind of work out the kinks among your team, among each other. So how beneficial is that for you guys going forward?
Yeah, I mean, we look at it as though it's beneficial, and we've had a lot of injuries, so we've been able to try to keep them in the training room and make the workout specific, per their injury. If they have a bad shoulder, all the drills are volleys and ground strokes, for example, and we can literally have them serve underhanded when we're doing set play, things like that. You can't always do that when you're playing against other teams, and you got to go all out in those. So that's beneficial. We can work out the kinks. Anybody's struggling on any particular stroke or shot that they have, and just being able to be home. We've been on the road so much this spring, being able to stay home and sleep in their own beds, have home cooking in the good old school cafeteria, and be able to get caught up on their homework and that sort of thing. And because it all plays a part. When they're getting stressed out on homework or anything, it weighs on them. If everything's balanced, I feel like they play better tennis also.
Absolutely. That's actually a pretty good point about, just everything being balanced as far as, the schoolwork and sleeping, in their own rooms and things like that. It kind of makes a difference, especially for a sport like tennis where it's a team sport, but at the same time, there's a lot of individual components there as well.
Yeah, it's a grind. People don't realize how taxing it is, both mentally and physically. You're out there on a concrete court. It's the only sport played probably on a concrete court, and all the running and jumping and swinging of the arm, that throwing motion like you do in baseball. And we get a lot of just a lot of back, shoulder injuries, elbow injuries, knees, that sort of thing. So it's nice when we can pull back a little bit and monitor exactly what we're doing in practice and just be sure everything's taken care of. And you got to always say rest resistance. You got to have rest resistance, and you want to push them hard, but you got to know when to pull back as well.
Absolutely. And so it all comes down to this for the most part.
Yeah,
as far as
we are.
As far as conference is concerned, anyway, I mean,
goosebumps.
You guys, absolutely, and you guys are traveling to Richardson, Texas this week. Tournament kicks off on Thursday, and we kind of talked about it coming in. You guys got a little bit of a tough draw this year. You're gonna first face off with Concordia to kick off the tournament, but going into this level of competition, what is the mental mindset? What is the mental state of your team as you guys prepare to take on what is going to be most likely your toughest tournament thus far?
I mean, they're excited about it. I mean, they're going in with the attitude that they're going to win the tournament. And, that's the attitude that I like to have. I always tell them whether you think you're going to win or whether you think you're going to lose, you're right. I mean, It's all in the mindset, and they remember back when we won the ASC tournament, we had the toughest draw there. I mean that West is tough. I mean if you get the number 4 seed out of the West, it's not necessarily an easy match, and it's not going to be this year. Concordia, we played them this year and beat them 8-1, but it was a hard 8-1. Every match was a hard fought match. We lost number 1 girls doubles. We had a lot of I think 3-setters and girls singles. So we know they're going to come out fighting. But like I said, when we won conference that year, we played Concordia first round. After that, we played Hardin Simmons, and that was a real tight match. I think 5-3. And then in the finals, we beat UT Tyler. So everything, it's a perfect storm. Everything's setting up the same. We've got Concordia first round. If we win that, we got Hardin Simmons more than likely second round. And then if we are able to get through that semifinal match, more than likely, you don't have UT Tyler anymore, but probably be UT Dallas in the finals. So. We like that draw. We like getting a challenge first round. A lot of times if you have an easy first round match, it doesn't cause you to raise your game level. We know that it's going to force us to raise our game level, and we're going to be better off for it, be ready to play when we play the harder teams later on in the tournament. Absolutely.
And speaking of those harder teams, you guys matched up with UT Dallas earlier in the season, and it proved to be a learning experience for you guys, a very tough match. But now at this point in the year, that you may have the opportunity to face them. How tempting is it though to kind of look too far ahead into the fact that we could be facing the Comets after these first 2 matches? Is it difficult to just kind of focus on what's directly ahead of you guys and without looking too far in?
A little bit. I mean, they're real excited, and we've beaten Concordia already this year. We've beaten Hardin Simmons already this year. It's very easy to look past them and say, okay, when we play UT Dallas in the finals, well, I had to tell them, all right, let's tap the brakes a little bit. We got to play Concordia first, and they're good. And then if we get by that, you got to think about Hardin Simmons. Let's take it a team at a time. Let's take it a point at a time, a set at a time, a match at a time. Let's not put the horse before the cart here, or whatever that saying is. So just take it a step at a time here.
I believe it's the other way around.
Oh, is that the cart before the horse? Yeah. Okay, there you go. Always get those things backwards. It's just like my jokes.
Yeah. Absolutely, Coach. And before we let you go here, just looking at your overall team, we've talked about some of the players on the women's side, like Malika Sikio, Tiffany Stankiewicz, who's really stepped up this year after taking, last season off. Who else on your team has made the biggest stride? We kind of talked about it before coming on that. It's going to be a tough pick for you as across the board, there's been just improvement all the way around. But if you could just think of a few or one who's made the biggest stride from day one to this point heading into the tournament.
Oh, man. Yeah, what's that saying? The hay's in the barn? I mean, they feel like they've done the work. They're all ready to play, especially since that first match against UT Dallas. They've been working, with a vengeance since then, and feel like we've made a big jump. At the end of the year, we always vote on the MVP, and we have perpetual plaques that we keep in there in our office. It's going to be hard to pick this year because they've all made such a big jump. Of course, Elisa won the ITA tournament, and she's playing now the way she did when she won the ITA tournament. And when she won that makes you an All-American. It makes you officially the best player in the ASC and the SCAC conference. Tess is playing great at the number 2 single spot. I mean, she's just been thrashing people. When Elisa was injured, she had to play number 1. It was winning at number 1. Tiffany, after taking a year off, I mean, she was struggling, and her game's taken a huge jump. I mean, she's playing like she was when she was MVP of the conference tournament. Kaylee is starting to hit her stride. We've always known she's a gifted doubles player, but her singles game is as good as her doubles right now. I mean, she's just killing it in singles. Olivia Parmalee, I mean, we always knew she was a gifted doubles player, but and she injured her shoulder. We made her start serving underhanded. And she's constructing points and playing these high, heavy singles points and just playing beautiful singles now. She maybe has made the biggest jump in her singles game out of anybody. And then on top of that, it's manning number 1 doubles as a freshman. I mean, that's just unheard of. I mean, we nominated her for Freshman of the Year, both the ASC, and put her up for Rookie of the Year, for the ETBU awards. And that's how much we think of Olivia. And then, of course, Malika. the girl's got ice water in her veins. Some of our other girls go, a little bit like this, play up here and down here, up there sometimes. But Malika's just always like this, just always plays at a high level, almost no drop off, and of course she clinched the match for the conference championship 2 years ago, and just calm as she could be. And I can't say enough nice things about Malika. And then Ashley, she started off on the bench and worked her way into a starting position, and her doubles play is good, if not better, than just about anybody on the team right now. Manning that number 2 double spot with Tiffany, and then Cassidy. Cassidy's made a big jump. Is really made a nice improvement in her game. So like I say, it'd be hard to pick. I mean, I can say so many nice things about every one of them. And like I say, they all feel like they're ready to surprise UT Dallas because they have improved so much. And we build our program that way. I've done this for 30 years, and we take it slow and have a system. And we talk about peaking in April, and I think they're peaking at the right time.
Absolutely. Well, thank you once again, Coach.
Thank you.
Wrap things up here. You can follow all things ETBU sports related at goetbtigers.com or follow us on social media at goetbtigers. And once again, Mark T. Robinson signing off with head tennis coach Jeff Bramlett. We'll be back on the ETBU Coaches Show in just a moment.